Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Sharifah Nazin Shazira. I will present about the synopsis of Black Brothers Baranaga. Black Brothers Baranaga tells a powerful story about loyalty, betrayal, and survival in Malaysia's criminal underworld. The film centers on Arif, played by Shafiqar, a lawyer enforcer in the Baranaga syndicate who suddenly finds himself accused of betraying the very organization he dedicated his life to. Once trusted by everyone, Arif becomes a target of a night hunted by his own brothers, especially Gus, played by Shahnaz Ahmad. As Arif searches for the truth, he begins to realize how easily brotherhood can shatter when power and greed take over. His struggle isn't only physical, it's also emotional. He's torn between loyalty and survival. Visually, the film stands out for its dark and intense atmosphere. The fight scenes feel raw and realistic, using shadows and dim lighting to reflect Arif's loneliness and isolation. Every punch and gunshot carries meaning, reminding the audience that violence here isn't glamorous. It's a tragic consequences of choices made in desperation. Now, let's move on to the main stakeholders and their stake. There are two key figures here, Gus and Arif. First, Gus, portrayed by Shahnaz Ahmad, feels deeply betrayed. He seeks vengeance, but the truth is he doesn't have solid proof about his wife's death. This uncertainty drives his anger and clouds his judgment. Meanwhile, Arif, played by Shafiq Khan, faces an even more difficult choice. He must decide between his brotherhood bond with Gus, form true loyalty in the Baranaga group, and his duty to his real brother, Jackie. Both men are bound by loyalty, but the same loyalty becomes their biggest test. Now, we will look at the ethical dilemmas faced by the both heroes, Gus and Arif, and the villain, Fadlan. For Gus and Arif, their dilemmas lies in whether to stay loyal to the syndicate, even if it means staying silent about corruption and lies, or to defy the brotherhood to uphold justice. If they expose the truth, they risk destroying everything the group once stood for. Both men are caught between doing what's right and doing what expected. On the other hand, the villain, Fadlan, played by Shukri Yahya, faced a moral conflict rooted in the greed and fear of losing control. As a senior figure in the Baranaga group, he struggled between maintaining his power and preserving the moral code that once united them. To protect his authority, he frames Arif for betrayal, convincing himself his actions are necessary to preserve the organization's stability. These contrasts highlight how each other's characters' moral choices shape their downfall, showing that in the world ruled by power and loyalty, ethics often comes at the highest cost.
Hi, my name is Putri Shufa. For this slide, I will explain the action taken by the villain, Gus. Based on the teleological point of view, teleology focuses on the result or outcomes of an action rather than whether the action itself is morally right or wrong. In the movie of Blood Brothers, Gus suspects that Arif killed his wife, Sheila. In this situation, fills him with anger and deep grief, and he becomes determined to capture Arif. He believes that by doing so, he can restore justice for Sheila's death and maintain order in their organization. Because Gus is driven by his emotion, he focuses only on the final outcomes, which catching Arif without thinking about whether his actions are ethical or not. He uses force and aggression to achieve his goals, showing that he values result more than moral rules. From a theological perspective, Gus believes his actions are right because he looks at the end result. He thinks that by punishing Arif and bringing back peace are good outcomes, so whatever he does to reach that goal is justified. Next, I will explain the action of the hero, Arif. Based on deontological point of view, deontology means people should follow moral rules and do their duty no matter what the outcome is. In this movie, Arif is wrongly accused of killing Sheila. Even though he faced great pressure, Arif does not use unethical action such as harming innocent people or betraying others to prove his innocence. Instead, his actions are guided by moral principles and duties. He always acts with honor, integrity, and personal responsibility. Arif also tries to reconcile with his brother, Jackie, showing that he values family and forgiveness while still maintaining his moral code. He puts doing the right things above taking the easy way out. From a deontological point of view, Arif's actions show that true ethics come from following what is morally right, even when it is difficult or when the result may not be in his favor.
Hi, my name is Siti Nurhayza binti Syamsuddin. My metric number is 2023627348 and I am from class JAC 2206B. Moving forward, to truly understand the depth of Fadlan's betrayal, we must first ask the critical question, what will an ethical person have done? Let's begin by applying the universally recognized principle, the golden rule. So, if we step into Fadlan's shoes, applying the concept of treat others as we wish to be treated, the path becomes clear. The first requirement of the golden rule, the most fundamental, is honesty. We will have initiate an open dialogue. We will have clearly expressed our feeling of being undervalued or our desire for more control, and that to our brother and associates. This is how we will have wanted them to approach us. Second is respect. We will have respected the pact of the Blood Brotherhood. We will have placed the value of loyalty and the sacred bond above any potential short-term financial gain or ego boost. Third is resolution. We will have sought a non-violent, mediated solution. If financial dispute arise or we feel cheated, we will have engaged a neutral party or use civil negotiation methods to divide assets fairly. Last one is self-control. We will have stepped away to calm down and reflect before acting on feelings of intense jealousy or anger. We will have taken time to consider the long-term devastating consequences of betraying our closet allies. We have seen the path of light Fadlan rejected. Now we must face the darkness he chose. Let's turn the page and explore the inescapable emotional fallout of his choices. The consequences of destroying trust and family bonds for selfish reasons are unavoidable. Stepping out of the darkness and realizing the harm we causes will bring a terrible wave of self-condemnation. Let's examine the emotions that will haunt him. First is guilt. The physical and emotional damage causes to our brother and others. The guilt comes from the direct realization that everyone's and every tearjerker was a result of our calculated choices and others. Second is remorse. The destruction of the Blood Brotherhood. We will deeply regret sacrificing years of trust and loyalty, realizing too late that money and power are meaningless when you have no one left to share life with. Third is shame. Losing all honor and self-respect in the eyes of the community, knowing that we are seen as a manipulative betrayer and a backstabber rather than a respected partner or brother, will be deeply humiliating. And the last one is regret. The realization of the ultimate price paid, we will look back and conclude that no amount of wealth or power was worth the cost of becoming a villain and being completely isolated.
Now, let me continue with the conclusion and the lesson we can learn from the movie Blood Brothers Baraniaga. In conclusion, Blood Brothers Baraniaga is not just an action movie. It is a story about choices, loyalty, and moral conflict. Both Arif and Yugas show how easily trust can turn into betrayal when emotion take over ethics. This film teaches us that doing the right thing is often difficult, but is what defines who we truly are. It reminds us that real loyalty and brotherhood must be guided by honesty, justice, and compassion. Now, let's look at some of the key lessons we can learn from this movie. The first lesson is that loyalty must have moral boundaries. The movie taught me that the loyalty is meaningless without ethic. Gus' loyalty to his boss made him blind to what's right and wrong. True loyalty should never make us betray our conscience or hurt innocent people. We must know when to stand up against wrong action, even if it's from someone we respect or care about. The second lesson is about forgiveness and understanding. Arif showed that being calm and forgiving is not a weakness. It's actually a form of courage. Instead of seeking revenge, he chose to prove his innocence with integrity. This reminds us that forgiveness does not only heal others, it also heals ourselves. Because when we act out of anger and pride, it only leads to destruction and regret. The third lesson reminds us that every action has moral consequences. Every choice we make affects not only ourselves but also the people around us. Gus' decision to act out of anger caused pain, guilt, and loss. This teaches us to think carefully before acting because we are always responsible for the result of our decision. The fourth lesson is that humanity matters more than power or pride. Power, money, and reputation can never replace peace of mind or trust. Being right in the eyes of others means nothing if we lose our values and humanity. The film reminds us that doing what is right may be difficult, but it will always lead to the real satisfaction and inner peace. Lastly, Blood Brothers show that the real battle is within ourselves. Our greatest enemy is not other people, but our own anger, ego, and desire for revenge. Every character, especially the villain, struggles between doing what is right and what feels justified. Controlling emotion like rage and jealousy is a sign of true strength and maturity. Making ethical decisions even when it's hard shows real courage and integrity. In the end, peace and redemption come from within, not from winning, fight, or seeking revenge. So overall, Blood Brothers Baraniaga remind us that ethic and emotion must always be balanced when we make decisions with conscience and compassion. We not only become better individuals, but also inspire others to do the same. So that's all from us. Bye-bye and thank you.